Hello everyone, welcome to UPSC PYQ lecture series by Clarity for Sure and Agriclarity platform. And in today's session, we are going to discuss some agriculture and related PYQs in prelims of the year 2020 and 2021. Okay, so yes, let's just start our discussion on the PYQs, the prelims PYQs for year 2020 and 21 for UPSC exam. Okay, let's start with our first question for the day. Consider the following statements. First, 36% of India's districts are classified as overexploited or critical by Central Groundwater Authority. Second statement, Central Groundwater Authority was formed under Environment Protection Act. Third, India has the largest area under groundwater irrigation in the world. So, identify which of the following given statements above is or correct. So, we know that yes, Central Groundwater Authority comes under Environment Protection Act. Yes, India has the largest area under groundwater irrigation in the world. So statement 2 and 3 are correct and 1 is not because this data is not correct. Okay. So Central Groundwater Authority is important. In PIB, there are frequent news or frequent articles on different groundwater data, okay, by this authority, that is Central Groundwater Authority. So that's why I picked up this question, that if anything is in news, if anything is in PIB related to or the information by this authority, that is Central Groundwater Authority, please do not ignore that. Read it, okay, read it at least important forms, okay. Or the trends are also important, like increase, decrease, like these trends are also important. So just note that any news from Central Groundwater Authority becomes important. So the fact or important facts about these authorities are, this is constituted, it was constituted under Environment Protection Act, that is 1986. This year is again important. They could directly ask the year of the Environment Protection Act. Okay, so yes, this authority comes under this act. Next is, yes, India has the largest area under ground irrigation in the world. Okay, so these two statements were correct, and the first, that was 36%, was not right because it is around 20%. The critical and overexploited, critical or overexploited is around the 20%. Okay, so yes, these are the sum of the point. And even in the NABARD question was on this classification. Okay, the question was on the lines of like, we have some criteria to classify a district as a safe, critical, semi-critical, or exploited, right? So that criteria were asked in the exam. Okay, so yes, this is important. Next, with reference to chemical fertilizers in India, consider the following statements. Okay, first is, at present the retail price of chemical fertilizer is market driven and not administered by government. Second, ammonia, which is an input of urea, is produced from natural gas. And third is sulfur, which is raw material for phosphoric acid fertilizer, is byproduct of oil refineries. So we know that answer options 2 and 3 are only correct and first is not, because we are aware about the subsidies that government provide to different chemical fertilizer producing companies. That means it is not market driven. That means the market, these prices are governed or administered by government. Okay. So yes, this statement is wrong. Yes, union government provides subsidy to urea manufacturing units, and urea is produced from ammonia and the gaseous carbon dioxide at a high temperature and relatively high pressure. So that was the second, that is ammonia as input for urea, which is produced from natural gas. So yes, this was right. Second, the sulfur, which is again byproduct of oil refining and is used in the phosphoric acid fertilizers. So yes, as I said, statement 2 and 3 were correct and first was wrong. Next question is, in context of India, which of the following is considered to be practices of eco-friendly agriculture? So first option is crop diversification, second is legume intensification, third is tensiometer use, and fourth is vertical farming. So all these options are eco-friendly agriculture practices. Okay, we know that. Why all these are eco-friendly? Let's discuss. Okay.
So the crop diversification involves growing variety of crops on the same piece of land, either simultaneously or in rotation, to reduce the risk. Example, farmer might rotate maize, beans, wheat over the season or grow multiple crops in the same season. Okay, so that is what is the crop diversification.
Next is legume intensification, that is incorporation of legume in a crop production cycle. We are incorporating legumes along with the cereals. Next is tensiometer use, that is tensiometer is a device that we use to measure soil moisture tension. Okay, and this is important for irrigation scheduling. It will be like efficient use of water resources that we have. Okay, then next is a vertical farming. Vertical farming is like growing in a stacks, vertical stacks. The crops will be grown in a controlled environment, okay, which is going to save us space, going to reduce the crop cost of cultivation, and we will have control over the amount of fertilizers we are applying, amount of water we are using, and yes, it will be like a controlled environment. So yes, because of all these reasons, all these practices are eco-friendly. Okay, so yes. Next is, what are the advantages of fertigation in agriculture? Yes, fertigation is an important concept. So let's discuss what the question is. First is controlling the alkalinity of irrigation water is possible in fertigation. Second is efficient application of rock phosphate all other phosphatic fertilizer is possible. Third is increase availability of nutrients to the plant is possible. And fourth is reduction in leaching of chemical nutrients is possible. So yeah, the second statement is wrong, and 1, 3, and 4, that is C option is right. So why? Because yes, fertigation can control the alkalinity, it increases availability to the plant as we are giving that fertilizers near the root zone, and it is going to reduce the leaching because we are applying whatever is needed, right? We are precisely applying the fertilizers where it needed, so it is going to reduce the leaching. And yes, but the second statement, that is all other phosphatic fertilizer, makes this statement wrong. Okay, so let's see fertigation. Fertigation is a method of fertilizer application in which fertilizer is incorporated with irrigation. Fertigation, fertilization is from irrigation, that is fertigation, like a drip system. Okay, so yes, but what happens as we are applying fertilizer through irrigation, it must be soluble, it must be water soluble. That's basic, right? If we are going to mix and provide this fertilizer through irrigation, it should be water soluble. So that becomes limitation for those fertilizers which are not soluble in the water. Okay, so yes, the fertilizers like urea, potash, and highly water soluble fertilizers are available for applying through fertigation. And application of super phosphorus through fertigation must be avoided because it causes precipitation of phosphate salts. Okay, and as it will precipitate, it is going to block the entire drip irrigation system. So it is not suitable for fertigation. Phosphoric acid. Yes, phosphoric acid is suitable through fertigation as it is available in the liquid form, but the super phosphorus is not. Okay, though the use of all other phosphatic fertilizer is not possible, and as I said, the all other phosphatic fertilizers make it wrong. Okay, and yes, and advantages, it nutrients and water are supplied near the active root zones, reducing the leaching, and fertilizer use efficiency will be high. Okay, these are some of the important points about fertigation. Next important question is the crop in sub is okay. The question is, the crop is a subtropical in nature. A hard frost is injurious to it. Okay, hard frost is injurious to it. It requires at least 210 frost-free days and 50 to 100 centimeters of rainfall for its growth. A light well drain capable of retaining moisture, ideally suited for cultivation of the crop. Okay, so which of the following is that crop? Which of the following is that crop that we are talking in this paragraph? So we know that answer is cotton. Okay, So this is 210 phosphate day is the keyword for cotton. Again, the soil that is capable of retaining moisture, that is the clay soil, you can say, or the black cotton soil is they are talking about. And yes, so because of these reasons, the answer becomes cotton. Okay. Next question is on the advantages of zero tillage. Okay, so the first statement is sowing of a wheat is possible without burning the residue of previous crop. Second is without the need for nursery of soil samplings, direct planting of paddy seed in the wet soil is possible. And third is carbon sequestration in the soil is possible. So yes, carbon sequestration is possible. Yes, without nursery we can directly plant the paddy seeds, and yes, sowing of wheat is done without burning the residue. So all the options are correct. Okay. So yes, zero tillage is a no-till farming where we are minimizing the soil disturbance. And what we are doing, we are planting the crops directly into the residue of previous crop, because of which what will happen, that sowing will be done on time. Okay, we know that the farmers from Punjab and Haryana burn these residues to save a time. Okay, and that is going to be avoided, that there will be no pollution. Then this residue in the soil is going to increase the biological activity and the carbon in that soil, so that is again a benefit. Okay, advantage. Also the cost of cultivation, these tillage operations require lots of tractor running in your field, and the fuel is also costly, we know that, so that cost will be again reduced. Okay, so these are all the point. It is environmentally, economically, the zero tillage has so many benefits. Okay, so yes, advantages of zero tillage are what? As per the statements that we seen, sowing of wheat without burning of residue of a previous crops. Okay, so you can sow directly, that is what is the principle of zero tillage. Okay, which will is going to help retain soil moisture, reduce the erosion, and improve the soil health. Next is direct planting of paddy seed in the wet soil. Unlike traditional rice, it enables direct seeding, and this is going to eliminate the labor-intensive process of transplanting sapling. Next is, of course, carbon sequestration, because these residues will be incorporated in the soil, which are going to increase the carbon stored in the soil, and that is not like we are burning those residues, like we are avoiding that burning of residues. And yes, okay, so carbon is retained in the soil as organic matter instead of being released into the atmosphere. Okay. Next is, in the case of which of the following biochemical cycles the weathering of rock is the main source of release of nutrient to enter the cycle? So the answer is phosphorus cycle. Phosphorus cycle consists of weathering of rock. The one of the steps is weathering of rock, through which this phosphorus is released in the atmosphere. Okay, you can say that nutrients are released. Nutrient enter into the cycle by this weathering of rock. Okay. Next is permaculture. How is permaculture farming different from conventional chemical farming? So first is, permaculture farming discourages monoculture practices, but in conventional chemical farming, monoculture practices are predominant. So yes, permaculture farming discourages monoculture, and conventional मध्ये we know conventional monoculture practices are predominant. Next is conventional. So statement 1 is right. Conventional farming can cause increase in soil salinity. It's true, but occurrence of such phenomena is not observed in the permaculture farming. Again, second statement is a true. Next is conventional chemical farming is easily possible in semi-arid regions, but permaculture farming is not so easily possible in such regions. This is wrong. Okay, this is wrong because it is possible in semi-arid regions. Okay. Next is, practice of mulching is very important in permaculture, but not necessarily in conventional chemical farming. That is right. So question 3 is not the option. So yes, 1, 2, and 4 are the right options. So permaculture is what? Here the key word of this, in short way I can explain permaculture, is about mimicking the natural ecosystem. You can see the difference. This is you can say conventional farming, and this is the permaculture. Here we are focusing on like naturally growing, natural, how that crop could have been like grown in the natural ecosystem. We are creating that ecosystem in our field, right? So that is what the permaculture is. Okay, so as I said, permaculture is based on diversity. It wants diversity. It promotes the principle of sustainability and ecological harmony. Okay, ecological harmony, and it discourages monoculture. Okay. Second, chemical farming. Yes, we know that it often involves chemical farming, often involve use of fertilizers, chemicals, excessive use of these fertilizers and chemicals, which is going to lead to soil salinity. But in permaculture, we are more dependent on nutrient recycling, organic fertilizers, or natural farming principles. Okay, so yes, which is going to avoid this salinity buildup. Third statement was permaculture is designed to work, that it is not possible in semi-arid areas, which is not true, because permaculture is designed to work in harmony with local conditions, even in semi-arid areas. Okay, like techniques like rainwater harvesting, mulching, and drought tolerant crops. So it is not accurate to say that permaculture is not easy in these areas. Okay, and the last statement was mulching is a technique in permaculture along with crop rotation, crop diversification. Okay, so yes, that statement was again true. Okay, I hope you got understanding over the permaculture concept. Next question is, black cotton soil in India has been formed due to weathering of what? So we know that this cotton soil is origin of this volcanic rock. Okay, so yes, option B is the right answer. So yes, that this was it about the UPSC PYQs on agriculture from 2020 and 2021. And here is the practice PYQ for you. Among the following, which one is the least water efficient crop? Is it sugarcane, sunflower, pearl, millet, or red gram? Least water efficient crop. So please comment down below the answer for this question in the comment section. And thank you so much for watching. Best of luck for your preparation. See you in the next session.